This is Steve Jewin for MMA Mania. Bellator 161 Congo vs. Johnson takes place September 16, 2016 at the HEB Center in Cedar Park, Texas. Today we talk to Joe Warren, the baddest man on the planet, about his Bellator 161 fight against Sirwan Kakai. Steve Jewin, MMA Mania.
All right, Joe, you are now on with Steve Jewin of MMA Mania. Go ahead, Steve.
And I'm talking with the baddest man on the planet once again. How are you doing, Joe?
Good. Thanks for having me back. I appreciate it.
It's always a pleasure, and I want to know how your preparation is going for this fight with Sirwan Kakai. Let me know what it's like right now.
Yeah, we're prepared, man. We're 10 pounds over. We're focused. I'm healthy. I'm violent. I'm pissed off from my loss, and focused on trying to make some money for my family to take care of them. So everything so far so good. I just need to go perform and impress myself next week.
So what's got you pissed off about the loss? Is it that you got finished in the first round, or that you didn't showcase the baddest man on the planet like we know you can?
Yeah, the fight was short. Darian's a great fighter. I was injured. I was fine getting in there. First takedown, I dislocated my kneecap and tore my MCL. So I was stuck on the ground against that cage, and I've never been in that position where I wasn't sure if I could move or if I could go on, or it was a strange position in that cage. I've never been in there before. So I tried to stand up and got body slammed and choked. When shit goes bad in that cage, it goes real bad. And so it was disappointing that I didn't get to actually fight that fight. I'm not taking anything away from Darian, great new fighter, and he's going to be a future in our program, but, just let me fight and we'll see what happens. So, I've rehabbed, everything's fine, I'm 100%, so I'm excited to get out there and perform again for Vicom and Bellator and try to impress myself and get this big win.
For a while there, it felt like dominoes were just falling in the bantamweight division because you lost to Darian, and Darian lost to Joe Manglo. Were you surprised at this chain of events?
I'm not surprised at anything in that cage, okay? MMA and fighting is the most unpredictable sport and unpredictable place you could possibly put yourself in, I say this many times, in a wrestling match, 9 out of 10 times the better wrestler will win, but that's not the case in the cage, it's very unpredictable. You never know what's going to happen. There's no lot of bounces. Things can happen real fast. That same thing happened to me. I was lost. I lost my belt from a knee bar for that verbal submission, which I couldn't believe happened. And then had to fight again. They didn't give me a rematch. I fought L.C. Davis, beat him, and I was supposed to fight for the belt. And those Brazilians would not fight. It took about a year. I needed to make some money for the family, so I took that fight against Darian. And thought it'd go my way, and things didn't go my way. So unpredictable. And same thing happened with Darian. I mean, he could have waited and had a title shot. Instead, he took a fight, and it's very unpredictable. He got choked out in the third. So you can never really count on what's going to happen in that cage. That's why I think MMA is growing in the fan base so much, because you never know what's going to happen until they actually get in there and fight.
Well, if there's one thing I always respect, it's a fighter who's willing to risk it all and go out there and take a fight rather than sit and wait for a title shot. So I give it to both of you on that one, to Caldwell and to you, for going out there and taking chances. But one thing that never seems to be a chance for you is losing 2 in a row. That hasn't happened in like 5 years now.
Yeah, I don't even know when that did happen. Hopefully it did. You know what, it did. Yeah, I mean, I don't ever think about the loss, okay? It's never going through my mind. I'm not worried about what the other man's doing. I'm worried about moving forward and being offensive, and that usually pulls the wins out for me. So, when I do have those losses, I don't really know how to deal with it, man. It sucks. I have a hard time losing. So it's been shitty for me for the last few months. I'm really focused on getting back in that win column and getting an opportunity to fight for another Bellator belt.
Well, Joe, you know how it goes when it comes to your foes. They like to talk a lot of shit about you. And Sirwan Kakai is no exception. He says you're a guy on the way down, and he's a guy on the way up.
Yeah, people say a lot of shit when they get to fight me. They get an opportunity to fight a bigger name than them. He's a very, very dangerous opponent coming in. He's got 2 losses coming in, but he fought hard in both of those fights. He felt like he's disrespected. I don't believe he has the game to be able to beat me. Let's see what happens. Let's see what, I let my mouth do the talking, and I go in there and physically get the job done. I don't even, you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay, yeah, I don't even care about this man at all. He's just a body they're putting in front of me, and as long as I do what I'm supposed to be doing, I'm going to kick this guy's ass and move forward. So each his own. I have a lot of people talk a lot of shit about me. I just kind of laugh and blow it off and do my talking in that cage.
Another thing he said when I talked to him earlier today is he's from Sweden and they know a lot about Greco-Roman wrestlers. They have great Greco-Roman wrestlers. That won't stop him from taking you down.
Yeah, he's finally getting interviews, so I'm proud of the kid. But, there's not Greco-Roman wrestlers like the baddest man on the planet, I'll tell you that much. I'm the best in the world of what I do, and I think I'm the best in the world in wrestling, MMA. It's different than just straight wrestling. He's probably trying to hype himself up. That's good, but the only thing I'm going to hype up is when I break his damn neck in that cage next week in front of the Bellator crowd. I'm not really worried about what he has to say. I'm worried about what I need to do. So he can talk all he wants. I think it's kind of funny. We know they always do this. But it becomes real when they get in the cage with the baddest man.
Well, I know you don't care what your opponents say, but I'll just throw one more tidbit at you. I love hearing the reaction because he said that he will probably be the more popular fighter in Texas because so many people hate you.
Oh, yeah. It's funny. Each his own. I mean, you know how many people hate you, that many people love you too. So I've got a fan base. I got the salt of the earth, the Bellator Nation behind me. He's a foreigner coming in here talking shit. I'm battle-tested warrior, American veteran. I mean, I don't think he knows what he's talking about. He must not have been to Texas much.
Well, he'll get his fill of it in just a week or so we'll look forward to that. But Joe, I want to know, how much longer does this go for you? How many more years are you going to put into the Bellator cage for all the fans? Yeah,
it's a job for me right now, and I seem to be safer at my job now than I was when I started. I didn't have any training. I've had training now. I'm a professional. I'm a veteran. I've been through every war that they could give me and came out on top. And so I'm just, I'm still pushing forward. I'm still getting better every day. I had a freak injury last time. It's 100%. Physically, technically, mentally, I'm stronger than I've been. So as long as they're going to keep paying me and they keep putting people in front of me to beat up, we'll see what happens. My future's still bright.
All right. Well, you did mention earlier that you've had some run-ins with Brazilians in the past and took them a long time to iron out their issues. So now that Eduardo Dantas is the champion, is that somebody you're gunning for here in the near future?
Yes. First things first, I got to get to this man next week, and then I believe the fan favorite fight is me and Dantas, man. We have a lot of history. I'm the only person that's beat him and taken his belt. And he's ran from me a lot. And, I'd like to get an opportunity to get my fourth Bellator belt in there and beat the hell out of this Brazilian. I'm not a big fan of this man, and I think people know that, and there's some history, and I think it'd be a great fight for the fans. So that's definitely on my, I'm looking forward and looking at that fight, definitely.
One of the things that held those fights up for a long time was illnesses and injuries. And as you said, freak things do happen from time to time. How frustrating is it for you when something freak like that happens, like with Darian Caldwell? What do you do to regroup from that when things take the fight out of your hands that you can't do anything about?
Yeah, and that's the thing. That's MMA for you. Most unpredictable thing you can do. It sucks, man. It's not like wrestling. You can jump out of bounds or call timeout. You're stuck in this cage with this man. Something bad, when things bad happen, they happen. A lot of things happen in a row. So yeah, injuries, things like that. That was my first real injury I had in that cage. So I wasn't really sure how to deal with that. I wasn't sure how to stand up, what to do. I was in a position where I should have stopped fighting, but that's not me. I don't even know how to do that. I kept pushing forward, and things went bad. I got body slammed and choked out. So yeah, I'm not happy about that. It hurt. It's hurt losing, and I hate that, But getting an opportunity to push back, it's always dangerous to fight me after a loss. And I'm just focused on moving forward and being an offensive fighter and getting a big win here and taking care of my family.
Is there any one thing a fighter can do outside of that cage? Is there any kind of strength and conditioning or technique they can do to avoid injuries in the fight?
Yeah, MMA is so unpredictable. You can't. There's not just one. There's not one injury everyone gets. There's so many. So I mean, just to be prepared for that fight, physically and mentally, that's going to be your best bet. I don't think there's one thing you can do to help you, prevent injury besides just being the offensive fighter and winning every time. That being said, that's hard to do. So, just being ready for every fight and being ready for anything that comes at you, that's going to be the best way for you to be ready to in that cage.
All right, as we start to wrap it up, Joe, I want to know what you think Sirwan Kakai's best aspect is when he comes into that cage on Friday night.
Yeah, I think he's a dangerous fighter. I see him extremely dangerous. He's coming off a few losses. He's got real heavy hands and seems like he's got some confidence. So, I mean, he better keep that because I plan on breaking his confidence and his spirit and his back and his neck, whatever I can to get that win. So if it comes down to who's tougher, who's winning that fight, the baddest man.
And one last thing he said before I completely let you go is he thinks that the baddest man on the planet is a title that you gave to yourself as opposed to one that the fans gave to you. How do you respond to that?
Yeah, I mean, everyone says that. What nickname do you not give yourself? Okay, bottom line, self-proclaimed. I mean, you could say that for every single nickname. No one gets a nickname. It's usually given, or it usually comes from when you're competing. So everyone's nickname is kind of, self-proclaimed. And to be able to push that baddest man name has got some balls to be able to keep it as long as I do. It helps me stay focused, and it's a mental thing for me. It's not for anybody else.
Well, as I told him during the interview, I have to give it to you because how many people can say they've been a champion multiple times in 2 weight classes? Joe Warren, one of the few I can think of who can say that.
Yeah, I've won 3 belts in that cage, and I am focused on trying to get this 4th one. And first things first, we got to get through this man. I'm not looking past anybody.
All right. Well, you're definitely not looking past Sirwan Kakai, and hopefully the fans aren't looking past Bellator 161, HEB Center, Cedar Park, Texas. And Joe, as I always like to do at the end of the interview, plugs and shout-outs, anything you want to give at this time.
Yeah, I'd just like to thank Bellator and Viacom for letting me get back in that cage. My wife, my kids, Mark Montoya, Factory X, and Phase 4 Athletics. Those are the guys that keep me rolling.
All right, and everybody follow Joe on Twitter at Joe Warren MMA and watch the baddest man on the planet in the cage September 16th. It's going to be a great fight. Thanks, Joe.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
No problem. And thank you too, Dan.
Yep, thank you, Steve, as always.